How old is Moose now? He's gonna be like
Five.
6. Oh,
He's a COVID baby.
yeah.
2020 baby.
Hey
Never
Dan,
forget that.
if the
How old is
opportunity
Moose now?
comes up, can you talk about, I was reading Kristen's email about the ADRE compliance, about Instagram and Facebook posts.
Yeah.
I, I don't know. I don't understand if it's a personal page you still have to put in.
Yep.
Okay.
Any real estate focused post.
But you have to have that in your profile if it's a personal page.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's just as simple as under your description, put realtor, Keller Williams with Arizona. Pretty simple.
We
So
still need to use Keller Williams Southern Arizona, right? Because on the email it says Keller
yeah,
Williams
that was
Realty.
supposed to be at every company, but it's Keller Williams Southern Arizona.
Okay.
So like mine, intro, realtor, Keller Williams Southern Arizona.
Okay.
Doesn't need to be much. It's just something that one click access. And then your post should have the brokerage tying to it. So, well, we don't want to jump right into that, do we, Stephanie? We got to jump into wins first. So let's hear the
Sorry.
wins. Looks like
Um,
California didn't show up today. That's funny. Audrey, you're muted.
I have an appointment this Friday with a follow-up, another follow-up, not the same one.
Okay, good. Another second appointment. That's amazing. What else we got? Just big
I'm
size.
I'm helping my mom. She's in the process of touring independent living slash assisted living facilities around Tucson, which is kind of exposing me to another part of the demographic. And see how many decisions there are to be made out there
Tons.
for that generation. Yeah.
Tons. There's a lot of variables too. It's crazy.
Yeah, and wait lists and yeah. You can't really make that your emergency decision, right?
No. Just like anything, it all comes down to preparation and research.
Mhm. But I'm grateful I can be here to do that for her with her.
Well, I love that. That's a huge win. People need you, especially your mamas.
Yeah, I used to be able to have to fly in for occasional things. Now it's nice to,
Be able to just down the street.
yeah.
Well, it's good. What other wins we have for you guys? Good. Well, no one else wants to share. That's fine. Stephanie want to talk about marketing and advertising this morning because she brought it up. First thing, just jumping into business. Not even giving us the howdy doody yet. Just answer some questions.
Sorry, I was looking at my emails.
So, so as you may know, the real estate commissioner Susan Nichols is making advertising and advertising violations her top priority. Clearly, they're broke, so they're looking for ways to fine agents. That's how I read this. It's super important that everyone takes time to review all of the advertising, social media, brochures, listing and buyer's guides, flyers, signage, etc., to make sure that you are in compliance. Listing and buyer's guides should have the brokerage information at the top of every page, just like your websites. The rules to be all broker logos and names to be included and prominent, regardless of regards to the size of the team name. So a good rule of thumb is never make your brokerage logo smaller than your team or brand name. That's a good rule of thumb. So I like to say same size or larger. For me, it's about the same. I just overlay the brokerage logo with my own logo, make sure that they're the same size, the same width and stuff. Or always have the name and logo together, right? Some you see those where people will have their logo and then the company logo next to each other. You notice that? That's a good way of doing it.
The logo always has to be up top. It can't be like,
No, in your brochures, it's always good to have it at the top page or the bottom of the page. Just on every page, just something.
hmm.
So just so you know, in your Instagram account, it needs to have the brokerage logo or Keller Williams name written in your profile. Like I just showed you guys on my Facebook where it shows about is Realtor at Keller Williams Southern Arizona. Yours should be Keller Williams Southern Arizona or Keller Williams La Jolla, whatever you are in San Diego. So if they're cracking down, it's because they're just trying to find reasons to get paid. I hate to always be that guy, but you don't have to be boring about it. You can just put stuff like super agent with Keller Williams Southern Arizona. It just has to be somewhere in your sphere of stuff. Even in personal Facebook pages, it needs to say Keller Williams Southern Arizona. If you have a website, it needs to be the top of every page. The consumer should not have to scroll at all to find it. That's the important part for websites. LinkedIn, make sure it reflects your current brokerage information. Honestly, LinkedIn, I think, is one of the most missed opportunities because we create a LinkedIn and we just forget about it. So if you've got a social media presence anywhere, put it out there. So the bottom of the email, if you guys want the email, I can send it to you. It has the entire guidelines of ADREs. So it'll be similar to California's guidelines, but make sure you reach out to California stuff and look for that too. So anyone in our market centers got it yesterday. Right. What time was that? So about 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. So check your emails for that. If you got questions, send a picture. Say, hey, is this compliant? Biggest thing, is it clear and understood that you're a realtor at what brokerage and is there fair housing identified? Don't cross fair housing guidelines. Make sure you're always letting people know you're in real estate. If you guys notice, most of my Instagram posts that are any kind of advertising or anything with real estate have the logo on them. Even the video like this where it zooms in, the logo's on it, right? So it's pretty simple stuff. It doesn't need to be, giant Keller Williams logo. It just needs to be on there so people can clearly see that it's a real estate post. Now, I know it's kind of hard to do videos if you're doing like a live video or something like that. You can't post it. That's why it's important it's in your bio. They click on one thing and they can see, oh, hey, Gracie's a realtor and she's an awesome Instagrammer. Boom, connect the two. Does that help clear it up, Miss Stephanie? I know that the email came out with another company's name, but
Yeah, no, I've always paid attention to it for flyers and my individual posts. I think that I'm having to just go double check for personal pages that I ended up started using that I thought I would just use this opportunity to get clarity.
yeah, absolutely. It's weird, like it's a personal page. Why do I need to have it branded? Well, because it's an online presence. And once you become a licensed realtor, you kind of take on this duality that your life is no longer just a personal and then professional life. It's one and the same. And people are going to mix the two. Because if you inadvertently say anything about real estate on a personal page, it has nothing to do with real estate. You have no real estate branding to it at all. But you say something about the market or helping a buyer or doing something, now you've implied agency. And it's that simple. So cover yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But my bio is perfect. I don't have room for it. I'm sorry. Rewrite your bio. Sucks to suck. All right. Enough of that. And a dead horse, we can beat it some more, but just make sure you cover yourself. Don't get a stupid fine for a stupid reason. Always ask questions. Put the logo on everything. And what they mean by prominent is they don't want like a 4x4 sign with your team or your logo in the center, and then the small little corner has Keller Williams logo in the bottom right. So, thoughts on that? Questions on that? Further concerns on that?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Being that today is the 18th, the day of Wondery, the day of greatness, I want to hear from you. What are your conversations, topics, objections, or situations you want to work on today to make your guys' life a little bit better? Is that a Mario hat, Jess? That's pretty sweet. That's really sweet. That's cool.
I'm trying to figure out how to download the document from the where do I download it from? Because I want to put it in my
What document?
like buyer broker exclusive employment. Some of our documents we need to share with our clients. Like if I have buyer broker, where do I
you want
download?
blank ones?
Yeah,
that what you
blank
want?
blank ones, so I can have it in my
Well, you're going to have to go
presentation.
into your DocuSign in your fake room and email yourself the blank ones you can download,
Okay.
and
Getting,
then save them on your computer so you can just download them.
yeah.
It's not a bad idea to have some blank documents around. It's not a bad idea to have an entire buyer packet and an entire listing packet ready to go.
Yeah.
Who has that right now? Who has a set of documents that you could pull out, fill in, rock and roll? Stephanie, one of you.
Yeah, I have an accordion file with, some blank ones
Yeah,
so that
it's
if
a
I need
great
them, I
idea
don't
to
know.
leave it in your car.
Mhm.
I have the old ones, but they need to be updated.
Then
So I
update
have-
them.
Yeah.
I'm really in like yesterday's conversation about do the work, about do it, right? Action, momentum, success. You can't get anywhere if you don't get going. So if you need to do it, just do it. Get it done. Figure it out, right? You did it before, do it again. I love the idea of having a packet of information ready because now you are one step closer to getting it done because you don't have to go back to the office and fill it out and sign it. Boom, you're right then and there. You're at Whole Foods, you're buying your mac and cheese and sushi, and someone says, "Hey, you're a realtor, right? I see you on Instagram. I want to buy a house." And you go, "Hey, let's go sit down and talk about it." And you can right then and there at Whole Foods in one of their cafe seats have a consultation. Go through the buyer advisory, the wire advisories, all the advisories, get them to sign a brokerage agreement right then and there.
Well, and a lot of older people do not want to deal with DocuSign.
You're absolutely right. It's a comfort thing. I've got a client who prints out everything. He wants me to print it and bring it to him. I'm like, dude, you live an hour away. No, I will email it to you and you can just print it. And it's always the same fight. Well, my printer's not working. That's not a me problem. Well, it won't print. It's the same file type that everything is. You just got to click it, open it, print it. And then he's able to print it. Technology and this man are not friends. They are not friends, and that's okay. We just have to understand that. So if you're going to get yourself prepared, and I love preparation, take the time and put together an 80% file. What do I mean by 80% file?
I'm guessing the key documents,
Yeah, the documents that go with 80% of deals.
Mhm.
Now you're probably going to have some rarities like a solar addendum or a septic addendum or I've got a dragon in the basement addendum. I don't care. There's always something that's going to be a little unique about that property, but it's not part of the 80%, and that's okay. But if you got the big docs, the big pillars of every transaction, it's pretty simple. Preparation is key. So the number one document that is missed on listings is a seller's disclosure. Why do you think that is?
Because people are afraid to disclose anything.
Not even that, Jason. It's just agents forget to tell them they have to fill it out. And most of the time, it's like, here, you need to fill this out. Well, what would it look like to spend 15 minutes sitting down with them and as they filled it out, you just sat there. You're like, oh, okay, great. Fantastic. Fill this out. And now you know it's done and you take it away with you. Puzzle piece over. So preparation shows professionalism, my friends. Preparation shows professionalism. Don't just show up and wing it. Have it prepared. If you got documents ready, man, I really do believe that the universe will start giving you when you are prepared to receive.
Yeah. And my thing is knowing the document through and through. So that kind of, slows me down
Read
or
it.
as confidence. Yeah. Yep.
Read
That's,
it.
I'm
Come to the
studying
contract
it.
classes.
Yeah.
There are so many damn mistakes in documents, and we have classes on them every single month. You got questions, we got answers. There is no excuse for any of us, myself included, to not being prepared on the document side. We have access to them. We talked about yesterday is that first step seems real hard, real tough, real scary. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure of everything. So the documents are scary. You have an environment that you can go play in and get comfortable with the documents, get comfortable with filling them out, get comfortable with sending them to sign. But no one wants to do it until it's time to do it with a client. When stress is at a level 10. Why don't you put on your calendar to spend 30 minutes a day in DocuSign working on it when stress is a level 4? You can tell your kids to kick rocks. Kick rocks, I got to fill this out. But when it comes to a client, you kind of got to be there with them. Well, Dan, I've never done this type of deal before. Okay, look at the documents, read them, get comfortable with what's already there. Ask questions.
So,
I
I
was
have
going to celebrate you in a second, Gracie. So give me a sec. Just like Gracie, she had a question. She sent me a novel of a text message yesterday. It took me 7.5 minutes to read because she had questions. I love it. Doesn't bug me. But if you've got something you're unfamiliar with, dive in, check it out, get comfortable, get familiar, ask questions. What do you got, Gracie?
so, since we're talking about documents and stuff, I think this is a good time to bring this up. I have recently been thinking about the open house sign-in sheet. What I typically used to do when I first started was not even have a sign-in sheet and build the rapport and then ask for their information, and that worked out amazingly for me. And fast forward to when we started having to have the sign-in sheet, the actual sign-in sheet from Car Forms on there, at the open houses, I've noticed a lot of people have only put their emails or just like scribbled things out. And combined with that, the market's picked up a lot. So I'm typically having conversations with somebody as like 5 other people walk in, and it's been kind of hard to manage having conversations with people, and I'll look back at my sign-in sheet and there's just scribbles or just emails, and it's like really hard to contact those people. So I know we have the website on Keller Williams that we're able to do for sign-in sheets. So is that compliant to Car Forms and all that?
Yeah, it's just a sign-in sheet.
Okay, because
Just a
somebody,
digital sign-in sheet.
yeah, somebody at our office, I think, was pretty like adamant on like it needed to be the one from Car Forms, especially because it has like all the disclosures on there. So, but I'm like, I don't think it's that serious, right?
California is a different beast, my friend. Talk to your broker. Use the online one and have the Car Forms right next to it. Take
Mhm.
one, sign in. Take one, sign in. Guys, this is an opportunity for those who can think cleverly to come up with a way to do business still. Am I the type of person that signs in? Absolutely. When they ask me to.
I thought you were going to say absolutely not.
Exactly. You thought you were wrong. I put my real phone number, my real name down. You want to know how many people actually reach back out to me? Tiny percentage. Tiny percentage. The issue that a lot
Before
of
you
people
go any
have,
further, the people that follow up with you, how often do they follow up? Like
once,
how many times before they're done?
once. Seriously, once. Here's the thing. I love what you said, Gracie. I would not have a sign-in sheet build report because I'm going to create a connection and a relationship with that person. It gets kind of tough if there's a bunch of people coming through. But that's why if you know you're going to have high traffic, bring a partner, a gatekeeper, someone to keep them engaged the extra 3 minutes that you need to build some rapport to grab a contact information.
Yeah, the other week it was kind of hard. I had 40 people come. So I brought a lender, but still that was like kind of hard to manage and like make sure everybody put their phone number down too is the main thing, because obviously it's way harder to follow up with somebody via email.
Is it?
It seems like it. I mean, it's not hard for
Perception.
me, but I think people definitely aren't looking at their emails as much or like paying attention to their emails as much.
I think that is completely wrong. 100%. You know why? We are now in a more connective space than we've ever been in life. Text, phone, email, social media, all of it. Where does it go? Right here.
I mean, I'm not saying it's harder, but I think for sure people have more tendencies to answer their phone or a text message than an email.
Then you need to come up with better ways of getting people to respond to email. Treat the email like texting. Did you know that most of the time when you have an email address, you can pop it into your Apple and iMessage them directly to their phone? 50% of people have an iPhone. So if you get if you get an email, now you have a 50% chance.
I actually didn't think about that one. That's smart.
Like I said, now you know why I'm fighting back on your perception, because I want to crack it. I want to fracture it. I want you to think differently. We all put way too much energy into emails. We come up with these perfect long emails. Nobody fucking reads them. The best email I've ever sent, subject line, hey, body of the email, you still want to buy something? Question mark. Love, Dan, send. No long signature, nothing. Subject line, hey, body of the email, thanks for showing up at the open house. Let's grab coffee. Next week? Question mark. Love, Gracie, send. Plain text emails, right? Simple stuff. 17 attempts. 17 attempts. Are you willing to give 17 recontact attempts? 17 text messages, emails, phone calls, social media posts, note cards, everything. If you're willing to do 17, you're willing to capture most people. Statistically speaking, most sales happen after the 7th attempt. So on attempt 8. Attempt number 8. It's crazy. And most people give up after the 3rd. Hell, I would probably change that today. Now, most professionals give up at the 3rd. Most people give up that first one. If I don't get a response the first time, I give up. A buddy of mine who's a lender, his name's Brett. Brett called me last week. I didn't answer. I was in the middle of something. And I have thought about calling Brett back. Let's see if I can find when he called. I don't see it so long ago. I get tons of phone calls every single day. Yeah, anyways, Brett called me. How many times do you think Brett's followed up since that phone call? He called me 8 days ago. 2:10. 8 days ago. That was Monday. He called me on a Monday. Who the fuck calls people on a Monday? How many times do you think he's texted me or tried to call back or sent an email since then?
What?
Okay, Gracie's guess is twice. And now, I get you, Brett is a professional mortgage lender. He has been in sales his entire life. I knew him from the car business where he was a finance manager. So he's been around sales and sales professions a long time. So Gracie's guess is twice. Now knowing Brett's pedigree, the fact that you know Brett is a sales professional, has been doing this a long time, how many attempts since the 8th, or sorry, since 8 days ago, the 10th, has Brett tried to reach out? Jessica says 0. Stephanie says 0. I saw her lips.
7.
Gracie's like, I'm giving Brett the chance. I went from 2 to 7, right? Any other guesses thinking that, Brett's been a professional? He's a friend of mine, so he knows that I look forward to his phone call. It's not just a cold contact.
4.
Okay, Audra says 4. And I mean, Brett and I have known each other for years. Years. Our kids go to the same school. I see him at the pickup line at least 3 times a week.
Oh,
How many times do you think Brett's reached out since the 10th? Have I made it seem like Brett and I's relationship is a lot stronger than just a random blind lead? And you would think he would reach out more because of that? Like he'd be more comfortable reaching out because of that? Brett called, did not leave a message, did not text me, did not email me, and has not attempted since. Would you consider me a busy person? I'm always doing something. But I would consider myself very accessible. You just got to reach me at the right time. Brett called me on a Monday. I don't even know what time Brett called me. Let's see what we got here. 11:25 a.m. on a Monday. Should have been a voicemail. What's up, Big D? Let's go to lunch. Give me a call. I'm in. So if Brett, a friend of mine, who I'm sure wants business because he's a mortgage lender and they're all looking for business through agents, knows me on a personal level, our kids go to school together, we talk, we've known each other for 2 different industries, probably for the last 10 years I've known him. If he's unwilling to make multiple phone calls, is he going to get more business? People get busy. It's not the right time. Not the whole world works 9 to 5. I'm sorry. Raise your hand if you work 9 to 5. Exactly. More and more people don't. They're untraditional. They're non-traditional hour sets. So call, email, text. Call, email, text. Hit him up on social media. I did a listing appointment about 2 weeks ago, and the guy hasn't responded since then. No call, email, text. Call, email, text every couple days. Nothing. Dropped them a note card. Sent out a note card. Boom. Thank you so much for the opportunity. You have a beautiful home. I'd be honored to represent you in selling it. I know myself and my team can maximize your profit. Look forward to working for you soon. Love, Big Dan. Boom. I got a text message yesterday. Roughly takes 3 days for mail to get there, so they got the postcard. They got the thank you card. I got a text back. How many other agents that they've talked to do you think sent them a postcard or a handwritten note that said thank you? How many of you would have thought of that? Anthony would have, because he's been in our classes. He's been around. It's the simple basics. Multiple attempts, 17 attempts to connect. You know what? I know usually the first time someone blows me off on the phone where they're going to go with it, because I've had literally hundreds of thousands of impressions of data points in my career, knowing how people respond. And if you call someone out of the blue and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I'll call you back. They're not going to call you back. Keep following up. Don't wait for them to respond. Polite persistence. And if you can't get their contact information, then you really can't follow up with them, but that's okay. I would love to make a rapport with 3 people that I can continue a relationship with, than get what may or may not be good information from 10. How many Bugs Bunnies and Donald Ducks and 5551212 do you get on your sign-in sheets? Just saying. People tend to not give their information away, but find them on social media. Find them on LinkedIn. Find a way to connect to them. Hey, are you on Facebook? Yeah, let's connect. Find a way. 17 attempts. If you're willing to do 17, I guarantee you'll start making more money. Are you willing? Yeah.
Yep.
Because if Brett, my friend, will only call me once ever, don't be like Brett. I love Brett to death, and I'm going to call him. You know what I remember to call Brett? Every morning when I drop my son off. Every morning. Do you know when I forget to call Brett? The moment I leave the school parking lot. So if Brett were to just send me a text, hey, big man, what are you doing today? Let's go to lunch. I'd probably be in. Or at a minimum, can't today, let's do Thursday. Guys, we all have busy lives. So just like you, your consumers, the people you talk to, your potential clients are going to be busy. There's going to be opportunities for you to connect with them and just connect like you'd want to be connected to. You're human. They're human. Figure it out. Quit being so damn robotic. Except for Jason. He does the amazing robot. So
I used to find people's numbers that didn't put their numbers on the open house sheets. And then one time I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe it's too intrusive.
yeah, fuck it. They'll answer.
Yeah, they're like, how did you get my number? I'm like,
Put it on a sign-in sheet on the open house you did 2 weeks ago.
I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's public records.
No, I don't tell them that. It's public record.
I know. I used to say that when I was wholesaling, but I'm like, these aren't investors, so I can't say that. So I stopped doing that.
Yeah. I connect with people, make relationships. All right, my friends. Thank you for spending a couple more minutes with me. Fortunes were made in the follow-up. Do something different.